everybody, my name is Kate. I'm the Rooted Librarian. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some reading updates. I joined 2 different readathons for July, so I've been doing a lot of reading. I've also been reading outside of the readathons too, so there's a lot of books that I just want to talk about. And in addition to the reading updates, I also have some fun Planty stuff that's been going on recently, so I'll add that in as well. So the 2 readathons that I joined July Noir, which is hosted by the Locked Booktician. I'll have all that information below. She also hosts Blackoween in the fall. I haven't done Blackoween before, but I did want to join July Noir because I think I want to do Blackoween in the fall. And they're basically part of the same readathon. So Blackoween, Bree, who's the Locked Booktician, created a map called Tula's Parish, and that has different locations on it. And each location has different prompts. So the idea is to try to fulfill as many of those prompts as you can for each location. I think there might be different roles that you might want to be going for. Roles as in, I think, like different positions maybe in the town. I can't quite remember. But anyway, so there are different prompts that you're trying to do for each location. For July Noir, that is a more truncated version of Blackoween. So you just pick one location and then you try to finish all the prompts in that location. But you can use that location if you finish that location, you can use that for Blackoween, which is cool. So anyway, so I picked Joe's Library. There were like 6 prompts for that one. The other readathon that I joined is the Tarot Readathon, which is hosted by Deja and Noelle. Noelle 7 Pages, I believe. Deja's Book World, I think. I'll have all that information below. I heard about it from Stephanie Bookish. And Tarot Readathon, as the name would suggest, you pull tarot cards to get different reading prompts. There are different reading prompts associated with the different tarot cards. There are different teams you can join. I'm on Team Pentacles, and each week you can pull a card or as many cards as you want. Well, I think the idea is to pull 1 card a week, but there's different things you can do. Like if maybe, for example, with Team Pentacles, if you read a book that is borrowed or that is an ARC, like an advanced reader copy, then if you don't like the if you don't like the tarot card that you pulled, you can shuffle again. You know, there's different ways that you can kind of, different rules and different loopholes that you can do for Tarot Readathon. In addition to pulling a card, the team facilitators also pull a significator card for each team each week. So anyway, those are the 2 readathons. And I'll talk about July Noir first. So the first book that I read for July Noir, and I think this was for the prompt, a book that features a historical reference. And the book is The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. This one is a 5-star, definitely one of my favorite books of the year. And it features a historical reference because the reform school that is featured in this book, the Gracetown School for Boys, is based off of the school, a real school that is in the author's note. Yeah, the Dozier School for Boys based in Marianna, Florida. And that school was around in the 1930s. And Tananarive Due, the author, she actually had a relative named Robert Stevens who unfortunately died in the Dozier School for Boys. He was stabbed, I believe, and he died in 1937. So this book is a very personal book to Tananarive Due. She did a lot of research on the Dozier School for Boys. So a lot of the research that she did, as well as what happened to her relative, show up in this book in the Gracetown School for Boys. So basically what happens is there are 2 characters we're following. We're following Robbie Stevens Jr. and his sister. Gloria. So Robbie is sent to the Gracetown School for Boys for defending his sister Gloria from a white boy. And unfortunately, this white boy is from a very prominent family in the area. So basically all he does is he kicks this white boy because the white boy is trying to basically sexually harass Gloria. And so Robbie's just standing up for his sister. He kicks this boy, and then the boy's father witnesses this and comes out and basically boxes Robbie's ear. And Robbie is sentenced. Robbie has to go to court, and he is sentenced to, I think it was 6 months in the Gracetown School for Boys. Meanwhile, his sister Gloria, who she attended the trial of her brother, didn't have any chance to speak, had to sit, you know, it was segregated. This is Jim Crow South, I think in the 1950s. So Jim Crow South, everything is segregated. She can't really speak up on Robbie's behalf. She has no chance to speak up on Robbie's behalf. There's no legal representation. So Robbie is sent to the school, and Gloria tries, even trying to get like the NAACP to help out, tries to get his sentence reduced and tries to get him out, because the Gracetown School for Boys has a horrible reputation for abuse, for boys going missing, for boys dying. There's a graveyard at the school. And while Robbie is at the school, this is considered a horror because Robbie can see ghosts or haints. And so can most children in this area in Florida in this book. They can see ghosts. And the ghosts or the haints are of boys that died at the Gracetown School for Boys that were murdered. So he sees these ghosts. And in addition to just trying to survive this school and survive the horrible headmaster who is literally the devil incarnate, as well as the teachers at the school, there's only like one decent teacher. I think she's the band teacher. In addition to trying to just survive the school and the tension and the constant anxiety over just the threat of abuse, the threat of a beating, the threat of death, he also is seeing these ghosts of boys who did die there. And anyway, so it is such a good book. I highly recommend this to everyone to read. Please read this book. It's so good. And it made me cry at the end. It's so heartbreaking. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. I highly recommend this book. It is intense, it is sad, it is horrific, in the way that this country's racist history is horrific. So yeah, highly recommend this book. I loved it. So the next book that I read for July Noir and the Tarot Readathon is Spin by Lamar Giles. And I was able to read it for both readathons because it fulfilled the prompts for both, which made me very happy. So Spin by Lamar Giles. So for the prompts for July Noir, this one fulfilled, I'm looking at my notes, sorry. This one fulfilled the prompt for, I think there were two prompts that this fulfilled. One was a book that features a musical element, and also a book that is written by a Black man. So this one had a musical element. It features DJs and turntables. It's also a murder mystery. And Lamar Giles is a Black male author. So it fulfilled those two prompts for July Noir. It also worked for Tarot Readathon because I think the significator card that the team facilitators pulled for Team Pentacles, I think last week, is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is, the prompt for the Wheel of Fortune is to read a book that features your favorite season. My favorite season is fall. And Spin is a murder mystery, so I figured that would fit the vibes of fall because fall is a good time to read thrillers, mysteries, things like that. It also, I think these characters are still in school, so it has a school theme going on. Anyway, so it fulfilled those two prompts, or the prompts for July Noir and Tarot Readathon. So I enjoyed this book. I wouldn't say that it's one of my favorites. I gave it like a 3.5 stars. I honestly just didn't really find myself caring about the characters until maybe 60% into the book. I was kind of like, for most of the book. And then I finally started to care around 60% in. You get, so basically the book follows rising star Paris Accord, AKA DJ Parsec. She is murdered. She's found dead by two of her friends, Kaya and Fuse, who Kaya and Fuse hate each other. So they find her body. She's like dead over her turntables. And Kaya and Fuse basically, at some point, they're kind of forced into investigating what happened to DJ Parsec or to Paris Accord. And what I liked about this book is the dynamic between Fuse and Kaya. So when they start out, they hate each other, they can't stand each other, they're kind of jealous of each other too, because they were both friends with DJ Parsec. And kind of brought different skills and different kind of dynamics in their friendships with Paris. So what I liked is the dynamic between Kaya and Fuse. I also liked Paris or DJ Parsek's flashbacks. So you also get to have some chapters from her point of view leading up to her death. So I like that as well. So yeah, I would say I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say that I loved it. It just was more of a 3.5 star to me. Okay, the next book that I read for July Noir, I'll talk about that next, is a book called Immortal Dark by Tigist Girma. And I think in the last video, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be in the mood for a dark academia in July. I would say within like the first 50 pages, I was completely hooked, line and sinker. I thought that book was so well done. It does dark academia so well. The vibes are immaculate. The setting is immaculate. The characters are so morally gray. It's like nobody, I think there's only maybe one decent character, but even that character does something really bad. So anyway, everyone is morally gray for the most part. And the tension between the two main characters in this book is delicious. It's like they're like two pissed off scorpions circling each other the entire book, and it is so much fun to read. Anyway, I loved the dynamic between those two. I think it's Kadan and Sosenios are the two characters, and their tension, their hatred for each other is so good. It is so good. It's just like quintessential dark academia, and I loved it. Also, all the vampires are black. They all have African heritage. There's not a sparkly white vampire in sight. So very refreshing, very good, highly recommend. I need book 2 now, but I think it's not coming out until November. So that makes me sad. And I didn't really talk about what this book is about. So Immortal Dark follows Kadan Adane, who her sister is missing, and Kadan is part of a family that basically, so in this world there are vampires, and at some point back in the day, like historically in this world, a magical sage, some kind of magician or sage, basically to keep the vampires from just going to town on everybody, they decided to come to an agreement with the vampires, a kind of magical binding agreement where vampires can only feed on like 80 different families. So, and I think 12 of those families form what is featured in this book, which is Uxley Academy or Uxley Academy. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that, but there are 12 different families that are basically that vampires can feed on at Uxley Academy. As part of this agreement, vampires have also limited some of their powers, so they're not as powerful as they once were. Anyway, so Kadan Adane is part of one of those families at Uxley Academy, and she left the academy as a child because her parents were murdered. So her aunt takes Kadan and her sister. Oh, what was her sister's name? Her sister's name, June? I'll put it up on the screen. I can't quite remember her sister's name right now, but her aunt runs away with her and her sister and gives her to basically someone to take care of them. And at some point, Kadan's sister goes missing. Kadan is like hell-bent on figuring out what the heck happened to her sister and does a lot of very morally questionable things in order to find out what happened to her sister. And at some point, the dean of the Uxley Academy comes to Kadan and is like, hey, your family vampire, Sosenios, is set to inherit your family house unless you come and attend the academy and occupy the house for a certain amount of time. So anyway, Kadan has to show up to this academy that she really didn't want to, just so she makes sure that the vampire doesn't get it. And she's pretty sure that this vampire, Sosenios, stole her sister or took her sister somehow. So yeah, that's the idea of the book. It is so good. I need book 2 right now. I loved it. I loved it. So that's Immortal Dark by Tigist Girma. And the next book that I read as part of the readathon is Oh yeah, I read Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. And I did talk about it a little bit in the last video, but that was part of the Tarot Readathon. I gave that one 5 stars because it is the coziest, cutest thing ever. I loved it. Yeah, I think it fulfilled the prompt of a book that features a queendom or a matriarchy. And in that book, there is a very evil queen. So it fit the prompt perfectly. And I was already a couple pages into it, so it was perfect. And yeah, I just thought it was the cutest thing. We're following 2 characters. It's a sapphic romance. And one is a queen's guard for this horrible queen and has horrible work-life balance because of that. And her girlfriend, who is like the preeminent magician in this land. And the magician girlfriend is trying to get her to leave her horrible job because it's, you know, the queen is evil, doesn't really care about any of her guards' lives. And so her magician girlfriend is trying to get her to leave. I can't remember their names right now, sorry. And finally it gets to the point where the queen's guard is like, you know what? F this. I don't need this in my life. I'm gonna run away. So they run away. They start a tea shop together. One of them has a griffin. The other one has a horse named Lilac. It's so cute. Just read it. It's adorable. And it was a nice break from some very intense reads. So I think I have a soft spot for it for that reason. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Another book that I'm reading for July Noir is S.A. Cosby, King of Ashes. And this one, I think I mentioned it in the last video, but I didn't really talk about it, what it's about. So this fulfills the prompt for July Noir of a criminal or a crime fiction. And I have read Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I loved it, gave it 5 stars. So I'm pretty sure this is probably gonna be another 5 stars. I think I'm about not quite halfway, like almost half, yeah, like maybe 48% into it or something like that. And this follows Roman Carruthers, who left his family's crematory business behind in his hometown of Jefferson Run, Virginia. He's enjoying a life of shallow excess as a financial advisor in Atlanta. He gets a call from his sister, Nevaeh, telling him that their father is in a coma after a hit-and-run accident. When Roman goes home, he learns that the accident may not be what it seems. His brother Dante is deeply in debt to dangerous, ruthless criminals. So yeah, I am enjoying this so far. I'm listening to the audio and I'll probably finish this weekend, I think. Yeah, so yeah, I'm highly enjoying this. I think it's probably gonna be another 5 star. Yeah, S.A. Cosby, like I don't think he can miss, frankly, at least not according to me. So yeah, I think this is gonna be good. Okay, so those are my reading updates for the readathon books, or the books that I've read for the readathons. The next thing I'm gonna talk about are the books that I read that are not part of the 2 readathons. So the first one that I wanna talk about, I read a book by Kimberly Lemming. Kimberly Lemming, if you have not read Kimberly Lemming, you really should. Her books are so cute. She writes romance, like fantasy romance, shifter, monster romance, and it's so good. So the book that I read this month by Kimberly Lemming is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. I'm just looking at my notes here. I've read the other 2 books that are in that. I think it's a series. I'm not sure if it's just a trilogy or if it's a whole, if that maybe we'll get more in that series. I kind of hope we do. But I think we followed all the main characters that we could follow, although there may be other characters that might get a book in the future. I don't know. So let me see, is there a name for the series? Basically, all of them have the title like That Time I Got Drunk. So the first one is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. The next one is That Time I Got Drunk and yeeted a love potion at a werewolf. And then the one that I read is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. So without being spoilery, The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human is the 3rd book in the series. It follows one of the dragon shifters and one of the humans. They all live in a place called Buhale, which is loosely based on like the bayou in Louisiana. And it's based, you know, it's all in this magical world. There are shifters, there are monsters, magical creatures. And basically each one of these folks in this, in the family and kind of the friend group, goes out and finds like a monster to love. So they're super cute. They're super funny books. Highly, highly recommend. So yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, the last book has one of the dragon shifters, one of the humans, and it's adorable. I love all of them. Go out and read Kimberly Lemming right now if you have not yet read her. Another book that I read that was not part of the readathons is A Bone in His Teeth by Kellen Graves. First of all, look at these two. It's such a beautiful cover. And I had to have a physical copy because I had to have this cover. Like, it's so pretty. And luckily the book is also really good. So I'm pretty sure I gave this also 5 stars. I enjoyed this. So we're following Alba Marsh, and Alba Marsh is basically, along with his father, have been put into debt by a shipping company who basically press gangs them into working on the ship. And his father dies at sea. And then when he comes of age, is forced into the same life as his father of being basically constantly in debt and can never really leave the ship and the work on the ship. I think he also he works at the docks as well for the shipping company. So when he finally is able to escape, his family debts. He's searching for his mother. His mother sends a telegram from this place called Moon Harbor. And I think she had told him stories about Moon Harbor, and she told him stories about mermaids and marrow and sirens. And marrow, I think, is spelled M-E-R-R-O-W. I think it's just another term for mermaids. Hopefully, if I'm wrong, I'll put that on the screen. But so Alba shows up at Moon Harbor. He takes a job as a lighthouse worker and quickly finds out that not everything is as it seems in Moon Harbor. Like, there's some weird stuff going on. And he also meets Eridanis. Eridanis is a mermaid or a marrow, and Eridanis basically wants Alba's help in figuring out what happened to all the mermaids in Moon Harbor. And their dynamic is so good. They they definitely don't like each other at first. It's pretty violent when they first meet each other, but surprisingly, their dynamic is surprisingly cute. I would say that the smut in this is pretty rough, so just trigger warnings if you're not into that. But even though the smut is pretty rough, they are like surprisingly cute and surprisingly just super caring for each other. Alba has a disability. I really appreciated how this book handled that. Also how their relationship kind of worked with that. I thought that was really well done. Alba is also trans, and having to just the dynamic of trying to figure out how he can be a sailor when, first of all, he has red hair, which is considered bad luck. Like I said, there's a lot of sailor lore in this book. Also, women are considered bad luck. And so since he was born a woman, he's trying to make sure that no one ever finds out. Anyway, so yeah, just a lot of really great themes in this book that I thought were explored very well. There's also, I will say, definitely check the trigger warnings. There's a lot of violence. There's cannibalism in this book. Yeah, so just check the trigger warnings. But honestly, if you want like a gritty, surprisingly cute mermaid romance for the summer, read this one. It's so good. The next book that I read that is not part of the readathon is Sugar by Mia Ballard. So this one, I had put this on hold and it became available, so I rushed out to get it. And I'd heard about Shy Girl by Mia Ballard, which I'll put up on the screen. I don't think I'm gonna read Shy Girl. I think just when I read the synopsis for it, I don't think it's quite for me. But when I read the synopsis for this one, I was like, this might be a little bit more up my alley. So I heard about this one from Deja's Book World. She really likes this. and I figured I'd give it a shot. So on the back, I just saw the word, the phrase, Satara is unhinged and unwell, which pretty much sums up the main character in this book. Her name is Satara. The main character's name's Satara Stratton. And Satara discovers that her husband, Dean, is having a treacherous affair with her best friend, Lila. So she plunges into familiar territory, which is deceit and death. Satara is no stranger to death. She is no stranger to murder, and does so with complete abandon. And then bakes a cake afterwards. It's so unhinged, so unwell. I will say this wasn't quite like a top favorite or a 5-star because the dynamic, I wish that the dynamic between Satara and Lila had been explored a bit more before some of the plot points in this book. I felt like some of the twists were a little bit out of left field. So I would have just appreciated a little bit more build up. Yeah, I felt like the ending was a little bit, I mean, the ending, one of the endings, I guess, without giving anything away, I really liked, but then some of the plot points, I just felt like we didn't get enough build up for it to really, really hit. So yeah, so not quite a 5-star, but still really enjoyed this. Like I said, I don't think Shy Girl is for me, but whatever Mia Ballard puts out next, I will definitely be very intrigued. Yeah, this book, despite all the murder and like gore in this book, which there's not like, well, there's not like a ton of gore. There's just a lot of depictions of violence. But there's some parts of this book that just cracked me up. Yeah, it's a good time. I enjoyed it. Yeah. So that's it for the plants. I think I'm gonna pause it here and take this off because I am getting a little too hot, and we will talk about some plants. Hi, so this is the Planty part of the video, Planty update part of the video. I'm in the room where I have most of my plants, which so I'll start here and then I'll move to the kitchen for some other Planty updates. I haven't really done a walk and talk type video, so this might be a little jumpy, but hopefully it'll work out. So my first update is on my Hoya polyneura, also known as the fishtail Hoya, because of the way the leaves grow. The leaves grow in this pattern that looks like a fishtail. It's so cool. It's definitely one of my favorite plants. And I recently started, I kind of gave this plant a little bit of a spa day where I repotted it. I've also been giving it better fertilizer. So it's been doing a lot better. And y'all, look, it's growing some flower buds. These are called peduncles on Hoya. And I am so excited. I will definitely, if I do a video where the flowers are out, I will definitely show it, but I'm so excited. Also, there's a new leaf on it, so that's exciting. Another update is that I did in fact get a begonia. In another video, I mentioned that I wanted to get begonia back in my collection, and I did. I'm very excited about it. This is a cane begonia. I believe this is some kind of maculata hybrid. I'm not sure if it's an exact maculata, but anyway, begonia maculata, cane begonia. I'm very excited to have this, and I love the red undersides on the leaves. I also got a spider plant. So in, I think the first video that I did, the first ever video, I talked about The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. And in that book, there is a talking spider plant named Kaz. And ever since then, I've been kind of wanting to try having a spider plant in my collection again. I think I've had one many years ago, and it didn't end up surviving, but anyway, I was in the plant store getting fertilizer, and I saw this guy and I had to get it. So far it's doing pretty well. It's got 2 plants in it, and I'm very glad to have it in the collection. The next update I have is in my kitchen. So I have some pinguicula, also known as butterwort, and I had some of these. I've had some of these for a while. I've had these babies for a while, and I decided to finally put them in their own little habitat here, their own little pot. And they came from this plant. And I also got 2 or 3 more pinguicula. So I love these. I'm kind of obsessed. I love the growth pattern. I like that they eat flies. So these are carnivorous. The flies get trapped on the leaves, as you can see, and then they just kind of absorb them slowly. Anyway, so If I remember the names for some of these, I will pop them up on the screen. Here's Pinguicula johanna, and then here's another Pinguicula. I can't remember the name at this moment. I also got this Drosera. It's called Drosera rosiana or Rosiana, and it's a pygmy Drosera. And I got this several months ago, but I'm excited because I think these are little flowers, so I am very excited about that. All right, that's going to be it for the reading and the Planty updates. Thanks for making it to the end. If you are reading or planning to read any of the books that I mentioned, please let me know your thoughts down below. And if you made it to the end of this video, leave me a Planty emoji for the Planty updates. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching.